Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together one more time for Rikishi, the Hall of Famer. Ooh, yeah. All right. All right. The hot wings are on their way. I hope you're good with spice. Oh, that's a different show. All right.
Justin, okay. What's happening, Brooklyn? All right, before we start this Q&A, I first like to thank God for taking this time for all of us to be able to be underneath this one roof, to be able to fellowship with one another, to be able to hear and tell our stories amongst each other. This is one thing that's personal to me when I come to do these type of appearances, Comic-Cons. It's very important for Big Keish when we all leave a place like this that we all learn and understand the culture of one another, diversity. As we know nowadays, that's what we're missing in this world, is love and peace. And like my old grandma used to say, you step out of line, I'm gonna straighten you out. And so that's the problem what we got today. There ain't no more old grandmas no more. You know, there ain't no more grandpas no more. And so at the end of the day, I want to just leave y'all with this is just, before we start, it's always free to be kind to one another. And I'm going to ask that everyone on your daily lives is just to be able to try to apply that, you know, amongst yourself. Like, everybody don't have a good day. Sometimes we wake up, it just starts off like the way we didn't plan it. But at the end of the day, everything's a testing for your faith, for your spirit. It's for you mentally, and to be able to move on in this world. Because at the end of the day, we just here part-time. So, okay, so I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. And let's go ahead and have some fun. All right? Amen. Okay.
All right, let's do this. Can I get a ooh yeah?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Rikishi. Let's get to it. Now, you're coming from, I'm going to regular voice, you're coming from a real wrestling dynasty, right? A true wrestling family. Now, was it expected of you to become a wrestler, or was that on your own volition, or did you have another path in life?
Oh, hell no. It wasn't expected. I mean, I was a young kid at age 17. And you're going to realize why I said what I said in the beginning. Young kid at age 17, didn't listen to my mama or my pops. Out there at high school, messed around, and with my girlfriend, had my twin boys. At that age of 17 years old, I knew then that, you know, I grew up overnight, turned into a man and tried to walk into what is called an adult responsibility of taking care of these babies here, because I didn't know whether to celebrate, or I was just mentally worried about, damn, how am I going to take care of these kids? And so I reached out to my uncles, Alpha and Sika, at the age of 18. Came straight out of high school in California, and you know, they opened arms, and you know, I told them what my situation was, that I need to come and, you know, get to work and make some money to take care of my kids, and the rest was history.
So in a way, wrestling kind of saved your life.
With the choice of, yeah.
Yeah.
With the opportunity, yeah. But if I had it any other way, I definitely would have proper planning and not have kids at an early age.
Do you ever think of a backup career you would have had if you weren't a wrestler?
You know, I come from a preacher's grandson. And now all my life I've been around that, you know, in church where you hear your grandfather and your parents up there, you know, spreading the gospel and the faith. I was a young kid, didn't understand what that was. But I realized as I'd grown up, you know, being around that close-knit circle of what you call the Anuai bloodline and the Fatu bloodline, it was always that it was church, it was family, and it was respect. And as I grew up, I kind of felt as a kid, that I feel safe in that environment. But I also knew that me preaching the word, I didn't know if that was gonna, for a young kid or early, teenage kid, is gonna pay the bills, put food on the table for me. And so at the end of the day, I was always into sports, playing basketball and football. I wanted to try my hand in professional wrestling, and I can only give, the rest was God. The rest was definitely God, because I didn't have my passion in it. All I knew, I had to do it for a purpose. And the purpose was to put food on the table. And here I am sitting amongst you 35 years later as a Hall of Famer.
There we go. Well said. Now we know a little bit amplified. We know family's a big part of your life. More recent times, you just got to go to WrestleMania and see your two sons, Jimmy and Jay, wrestle each other on the biggest stage of all. What was that like, and who were you rooting for?
Oh man, I was waiting for them to get the check. I was happy. On a serious note, it's always from a father. We can always mold our kids, and we can never know what the future holds for them, only if they listen to us. And watching my two boys, on the grandest stage of them all, to be able to do a dream match of their own. They conquered the tag team competition for, 17 plus years. And now for them to break up and to be able to come back and fulfill that dream match is definitely, it was heartwarming for me, but I was more so happy for the fans, because you guys got to experience that, and that's what we work for, We work to go out there, we're already trained to know our responsibility as a performer. We come out there to give you guys all we got and no less. We understand that, you guys pay hard-earned money to come watch who perform. That doesn't count the concession. That doesn't count you buying drinks or hot dogs or popcorn for your kids, because you want to give them that whole experience. Because I've been there and I've done that. And so when we go out, I tell them, get out there, do your best and perform. And, to be WrestleMania, performing against each other, man, it was definitely a treat for my family. And, I was happy for the boys.
And as a fan, it was amazing to see them wrestle each other, and also to see them, they've conquered the tag team world, and now they're doing their thing individually with their own characters, and it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Lately, there's been a viral clip, I don't know if you've seen this, someone put it together, where there's the new bloodline, and all of a sudden, Rikishi and Haku start walking to the ring. And someone put this together, right? Now, that is a dream. Have you considered making a return to pro wrestling in any aspect, as a manager or enforcer or authority figure? Everybody's been asking me this.
Oh, man. I really don't know. Not to say, no. Like in this business, you never say never. I think for me at this point is to be able to, stay healthy, deal with the after effects of professional wrestling. And, my second life, and I'm so protective over this because I never want to miss that time, is I got 13 grandkids now.
Wow.
Yeah, you can tell Jimmy and Jay and all them that, right?
And the beat goes on. 13
grandkids, and my life now is to be able to, visit them and spend as much time as I can with them. But anytime I can come back to, to pro wrestling, to be able to help the storyline or whatever they got going on, I'm very strategic. Like, you're not just gonna get Kishi just for a Monday Night Raw show or a SmackDown show.
Purpose.
If you're gonna have the man come through, it better be on a big WrestleMania day. And so, because all that, at the end of the day, my negotiations is gonna be as such, and it goes right to my grandkids. So that's what I look forward to. I hope that, the WWE and the whole crew there, can consider. I'm here. They know where to find me. I ain't hard to find, and for me, it just got to make sense. But I do it, to be able to, I know how important it is for the fans to be able to see me come back just that one last time and bust a move and stink face their asses in there.
You hear that, Triple H?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
He's ready.
Yeah.
Cool.
There it is.
And you're keeping busy enough. You got the wrestling school, you have podcasts, and now, you're brushing off the rap career again.
Yeah.
The Sultan. You're talking about the Iron Sheik, Hogan. You even got a song for the Juggalos.
Yeah, matter of fact, my manager, the Sheik, I think his Sheik was Sheik.
Oh, there he is.
Sheik.
Yeah. Whoa.
There is.
Who let him in?
Come up here, Iron Sheik. Come
Get
up
up
here for a
here,
minute. Yeah.
He can still move.
So the relationship with me and Iron Sheik was definitely an experience for myself. Coming from being around the Samoans and then going with this man here, I've learned a lot. I learned a lot about Middle Eastern. I've learned a lot about their culture. I learned a lot about their food. And anything with food, when you come this way towards a Samoan man, that's right down our alley. But I wanted to dedicate, songs. Rap music has always been my go-to back in the day. And when we had BSK together, we all know Yokozuna, Undertaker, Godfather, Crush, Uncle Fuji. We would all ride in these cars, and we were the first, I'd like to say 25 or 30 years, we were probably the first diversity group of guys together, and we didn't even know what the hell we were planting for the 30 years later. When you talk about BSK, you talk about different cultures coming together. We come from the West Side and the islands. We understand, island reggae. We understand hip hop. But when you come to Tennessee and Texas, you're running into Taker and you're learning country music. So and you run into Godfather. Godfather was a blues guy. He would get up on stage and just all of a sudden do the blues thing. So for me, it was always, when I told my kids I was going to do an album, I'm almost 60 years old. So I'm 58. But it was always my to-do list. I never knew what time I was going to do it, but I knew I'm the type of person that I want to complete the circle. And so to me, age ain't but a number. And if you got it up in here and up here to keep moving forward, well, damn it, you can rest assured I'm coming that way. And so I'd like to thank all the fans for, reaching out and just, hearing my noise out there and doing like a young kid's dream to be able to come through. So I got 11 tracks. I've done it in 2 months. It was on the low, and it's about ready to, come out in July. You'll be able to get it on Spotify and, Apple and all the social media platforms. So y'all go check it out. And there was this one song in there that's called Dynasty Forever. And it's important that I bring this up because my family's been in the industry 75 plus years, past, present, and future. You got WWE's been open well over 100-something years. And so for me it was, the Polynesian connection, the Samoans, the Tongans, the Fijians, we've done so much in this industry, from Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Don Morocco, Uncle Rocky Johnson, Afan Sika, High Chief Peter Maivia, Yokozuna, Umanga, The Rock, the Usos. It goes on. And we still have newer, nephews and kids that are coming in. My younger brother Umanga's son, Zilla Fatu. Yeah, he's out there making noise. He's coming through. My other younger brother, the Tonga kid, his son, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So, my point is this, that their time now and our time then was totally different. But the passion and the teaching, we continue that coming down this lane, all the way to Jacob and Zilla. And I wanted to to put out a song that was so powerful with one of my favorite rap groups of all time was the Wu-Tang Clan. And so, this is the island boy that, raised up in the ghetto of San Francisco, the swamps, but I was locked in church, so I was surrounded with that. And then, I wanted to come back and say, okay, how can I, put something together to be able to put our stamp. If anybody's not going, if they're not going to say it, well, damn it, I'll say it for us. And so if you have time or if you haven't heard it, make sure you go and check it out. It's under Rikishi Fatu and it's called Dynasty Forever. It just talks about, the real facts of what I feel, of who we are as far as the bloodline and the dynasty into this, in this crazy world of professional wrestling. So it's a personal song, and I feel it's a song that, you all can relate to, especially if you've been following us for all the way from back then with Uncle High Chief Peter Maivia to all the way to the baby of the crew, Zilla Fatu. There's so much in between there to put together in 2 minutes in a song. So check it out. Okay?
Love how positive you are, man. What a positive message. I'm gonna, a couple more questions. I'll open up to the crowd. Speaking of old school and back in the day, you were in the Samoan SWAT team with Paul Heyman as your manager, managing your kids as well, and you were in the Head Shrinkers. Do you have any favorite opponents or people you liked to wrestle back then?
Well, I got to talk about the Steiner brothers. In this business, when you come through, they label you when you're working, are you too stiff or, you're too soft or, we're young coming into business, at the age of, I think it was early 20s, we started in Dallas, Texas for the Von Erichs. And it was $30 payoff, working every night. I got twin boys and sleeping in my, SUV. My mom gave it to me just so I can, have wheels to make these towns. And, these guys like Stone Cold back in the day. And so run into Paul Heyman. We got the call to be able to come to WCW, which was in Atlanta. And so if we know Dallas is here, Atlantis is here, and we know we got to drive there, but we ain't got enough gas money to get there. And so we would reach out. One of my good friends was a fan. He came with us, and he was more fortunate than us, had a good job, and he said, hey, I'll take care of all that for you guys. So he came with us, brought his car, and we jumped in, and we made that long trip there. Not knowing, all we know is we're getting looked at. But we had no idea that they were going to throw us in that day, that following day. So in wrestling, you always leave your bag, your work clothes, your work gear bag inside the car, because you never know what type of booking you're going to run into. And so we got there and met Paul Heyman. They asked, did you bring your gear? I said, you're damn right we brought our gear. And we got on TV, got on the match, and I remember me and my cousin Samu just in the back park in a little room. I said, this is it, man. I don't want to drive back, man. We got to go out there and take this right now. Take it, and I want these people to fly us back, sign this stuff. And again, I speak about this because we can't tell tomorrow. We don't do, we can't tell none of that. And out of the grace of God, we were blessed to, right after our match, we were blessed to be given a 3-year contract at $150,000. And that was my first big contract in professional wrestling, and the rest was history. So can I just say something? So I know there's a lot of independent kids, wrestlers, they're probably watching the film. That's one thing I wanna leave with y'all is that, don't give up, man. I know you guys hear that all the time, but in this business of professional wrestling, you got to be a different beast, man. You got to be a different type of dude, or chick to get out there to be able to deal with all the politicking, to be able to see things coming a mile away, to be able to understand and know your worth. If you know you are that good, just as much as that person that's in the main event, don't settle for less, man. Don't settle for less. And if they can't see that, and they say, well, you're not, we're not going to use you here, that's all right. That's the beautiful thing about you guys' era. There's so many other independent scenes that's out there. Remember, you don't get locked down to any independent company unless they paying you to be locked down. You can't tell me that I'm coming here to make $50 and I can't go work for another guy that's an hour from here for a different promoter. I think that's stupid. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yo, man, this is my livelihood now. So I want you guys to understand that. Don't be a PlayStation wrestler. If you're going to do this, man, do it. Really perfect the craft. You're not a fan no more. This is your J-O-B. This is what you feed your family in, and this is what I like to call, at the end of the day, you still got birds in the nest waiting for you. I had a lot of birds in the nest.
13 at least, yeah.
I'm proud to say they are all good. You know? Right. So thank you.
I should have included motivational speaker when I called you out here.
Well, that's what I do now. And, I do talk about the wrestling, but I think it's important, my time, when we're here to talk about a few things of wrestling, but, to take you deeper into the mind of Rikishi, take you deeper into the home of Rikishi, into the heart of Rikishi. Because after the end of the day, man, I'm just like y'all. I just went a different path. I did what what's supposed to be done to the best of my ability, and the rest of it, here I am, So let that be that one day, we don't even know, one of these kids or somebody will be coming to their Q&A. You're going to sit back and say, man, how did you get there? Well, let me tell you, there was this one guy. At the end of the day, man, it's called each one, teach one. All right? All right.
As a New York City teacher, man, we'd love to have somebody like you come in and motivate because, absolutely.
New York.
Oh, yeah, at this point, let's open it up to the audience. You got
right.
questions, he's got answers. Let's do this. Dig it. Yeah. All right. What do we got?
I love New York. New York the Garden was one of my favorite places to wrestle, man. Yeah.
Royal Rumble 2000, there he was. Breaking out the dance, I was there.
Me and Cheeky, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, Bubba.
Oh, we got the Sheik first. All right, coming on.
I got to break kayfabe in order to ask the question, otherwise I'm not going to get it out. But there was a point, obviously you remember, when you were working in an era where there was older talent and newer talent sort of meshing at the same time, and everybody remembers, Baba, when I managed you in the match against the Rocky Johnson, right? So much intergenerational talent in the ring at one time. What was it like to be a part of the WWF at that time when you've got so much of the older generation meshing with the newer generation, and you guys are sort of bouncing off of each other and sort of coming together? What was that experience like?
Wow, it was a blessing, man. It was a learning tree. It was a hustle. To be able to be in the same locker room as some of the OGs, like, Uncle Rocky Johnson and, Uncle Jimmy Snooker Piper, those cats that are, no longer here with us. And so I was very blessed to be around that, just on a learning tree, to be able to understand how those OGs think and, what their time was. Their stories was, man, it's like every time we see each other, we say, man, it's so good to see you. When we say it's so good to see you, it's like we wasn't meant to be here. Because back in the day, it was a struggle, my brother. You pull in, you see these guys on TV, but you pull into a rest area, and you come out like you just walked out the Hilton. Let alone nobody know we were sleeping in the car in the trees over there. So, you know, you learn that part of the inside of the industry. And then being able to work with them, man, a youngster like me, I couldn't say it. If you'd open your mouth, you feel like you're disrespecting the OGs because they know way more than I do. And that's what was taught to us back in the day. Shut your mouth, open your ears, and listen. If you listen to me, we're gonna cruise you right through this match. But if you think that, you know what you're talking about or you know what you're talking about, well, I'm gonna show you you don't know what you're talking about in front of the Madison Square Garden, 15,000 strong, sold out. At the end of the day, you'll just look like an idiot. And so the learning tree, back in the day when the talent was mixed up, it was good for the younger talent, but also it was very difficult because there was so many good talent, but only a few can get that spot. And when they came to me with Iron Sheik and Bob Backlund, man, I jumped on it real quick because for me, it's like, you can't go wrong with these two legends, and then come in being a professional wrestler. They always looked at us like these crazy Samoans, savages, like, we don't speak English. And man, I hated that. I truly hated that. Because I was like, how come we can't be educated Samoans? How come we can't be this, that? Which, that's who we are. So the character we play, we were far beyond from that. And so when I got to talk with the company about coming from the Middle East, shaving my head, man, it was like a new birth for me because I wanted now to really test my skills of this, this industry of pro wrestling, to being able to go out there and really, really think, make people think that this cat comes from the Middle East. And the only way that's gonna happen is my work still stays the same, but I gotta follow the lead from Iron Sheik and Bob Backlund. And they would come and tell me, like, Sheik would tell me certain exercise. He would take me to certain Iranian restaurants because he wanted me to be deep in the character. And that I was, but it was just crazy. It was like a reality show, riding in a car with Iron Sheik and Bob Backlund. We all know they're two separate gimmicks, but, for me as a young rookie, I was blessed to be in the car with him. So it was a good time to be able to be that. Right?
Well said. We got a question over here from Michelle. What's your question?
Yeah.
Back in the day, the female wrestlers were just like, accompany the wrestlers to the ring. What is your opinion of today's really hot and growing female wrestlers of now, like Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, all those new women coming up and really killing it? What's your opinion?
I'm so damn proud and happy that they finally shined a light on women, not only for who they are, but for their skills, for their athletic ability, for their smarts, as human beings, as athletes in the same dominated industry of professional wrestling by men. Right now it's a good opportunity for women in professional wrestling. More so better than men. This is just my humble opinion. Is because, the world now in WWE are finally, shining the lights and wanting to see a lot of women athletes. Back in the day with the Attitude Era, we all know the women they had back in the day, Trish Stratus, Lita, Jazz, Tori Wilson, they had a whole bunch of girls, but they were good workers, but they were always, Attitude Era display in a different way for women, if you know what I'm talking about, right? And so now there's only a few that survived that from the Attitude Era. They're my good friends still, Trish Stratus and Lita and Tori Wilson, were we're still here. We're so happy to see them doing well and doing good. And so they too stand as like ambassadors for women. Because, you know, back in the day, little girls that are wrestling now, they used to look up to these girls here, you know? And so money's good for women now. Opportunity is good for women now. You know your negotiations, know your worth. You know what I mean? It ain't all about, you know, nowadays, when I say negotiation, and I tell this to my kids all the time, negotiations is meaning what you want, what I want, and we're gonna meet at the middle. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. This is just business. And so at the end of the day, it is that for women now. They're taking care of a lot of them a lot better. You know, when my daughter-in-law took a little hiatus for a while, Trinity, you know, she came out during, you know, around the area and so forth, and, you know, she never really did independence. And when she came out, I was kind of happy that she took a break from the scheduling of WWE, because they do run you ladies as much as they run the men. But to be able to get a break for her and come out, you know, you can kind of see now the difference of what you have there in the WWE than what you have out here is what I like to call the outlaws. I like to call the independent, we the hustlers out here. We the one here that we're learning every step of the way, which way to get that bag. And at the same time, when you see those that are used to getting the bag, you come out, you're not getting that same bag with this promoter. Now it's gonna check you now. Like, damn, you know, how lucky am I to be there to continue to get this, you know, this great contract, great living, blah, blah, blah. And so for her, when I finally, you know, had a little chance for her and talked to her, I was like, you know, it's good to see you back home. And I'll always call WWE our home. You know, our branding, our legacy, 75 plus years. There can never be no other company that Dynasty calls home. And this is the reason why you see that, you know, our family members, even the girls from Nia Jax and Tamina, you know, we got some few Tongan twins that are getting ready to come through. So as long as I'm breathing, I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna do my part to educate and open up the doors to try to give the men and women an opportunity like we did. But this time, y'all go ahead and just enjoy the fruits of the labor, because you guys damn sure deserve it, especially when you're working independence, $25. Sometimes you don't get paid, you know, and you're driving 3-4 hours. You know, your own family start to check you like, are you stupid to be doing this, driving this far? What is it with wrestling that you're gonna drive 4 hours for free? Nobody, they can never understand that. Because at the end of the day, it's something you love, and you keep pushing forward until one day they see you. Once they see you, I guarantee you, you're gonna get phone calls from a whole bunch of people that you never heard from. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. For you women, you know, you guys continue forward. There's a lot of opportunity, and I like to say there's finally fair opportunity for the women and men.
Clap it up for that, folks.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's about hard work and love of the game, and it's great to see those opportunities that they're getting. And
Thank
the
you.
fans been waiting years to see, you know, the bloodline in a major storyline like this the past few years. So everybody's happy. It's awesome to see. Especially it's refreshing, you know, not to see Carrion Spears and all that stuff from back in the day. So
Yeah.
Our next question comes from Dave.
Hi, I wanted to ask a question. Who were your favorite wrestlers to work with in the early 2000s during that time?
What is that again?
Who are your favorite wrestlers to work with in the early 2000s?
Oh, my goodness. Man, I'd have to say family members. You know, The Rock, Yokozuna, you know, now you know why Brett works with his younger brother Owen all the time. When you work against other talent, they're your friends, right? And it's different. is different from me working with my own cousin because we can pull these stupid inside jokes and pranks while we're wrestling in front of 30,000 people or a big pay-per-view. And your level of, you're not stressed out there. You know what I mean? You know, like, okay, I'm gonna go have a match with Yoko and I'm gonna do things to him that he hates, you know, me doing to him. And one of those was me wetting my finger and stick it into his earlobe. So he used to hate that. I mean, if you wanted to see the big man move quick, go ahead and just put a wet finger in his ear. You watch that big man jump up like Rey Mysterio real quick. But, you know, so I'd have to say something to answer your question. For me, it'll be family members, you know, like The Rock and Yoko, teaming up with Head Shrinker Sabu and, you know, my uncles and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, our next question comes from Charles, Super Mario.
Hey, Rikishi. Thank you for coming out, and I just wanted to say thank you in general. Me growing up, I was a big dude, you know, I'm big still, and, you know, growing up, I had some issues, you know. But I seen you on TV, and you came out here showing me I could be confident, I could have a good time, but still take no disrespect, you know. And you represented that for a lot of big homies growing up, you know. So I just wanted to say thank you for being that representation. That you could be confident, you could be a big dude, you could not back down, and you could do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? So thank you very much, and appreciate that.
You know, I'd like to tap onto that too. Why was my why, right? You know, as a kid, you know, we understand like when you're a big kid, man, we just get it any type of way. I'm straight up. It comes left, right. You know, we're not in shape like others. We're this, we're that, you know, beer bellies hanging and your throats to the, you know, to me it was like, I knew who I was. I was comfortable with my body because I understand that the blessing of me looking that way and I'm looking around the locker room, hey, I'm unique. And so I wanted to be that for a lot of us that are out there dealing with, you know, bullying and stuff like that. And it just so happened my job gives me that platform to be able to speak on it because I was at one time, you know, I'm Samoan before I'm a wrestler. If you know anything about Polynesians, we don't back down, man. We don't care how tall, how big you are, everybody got to fall. And so if you even try to come at this in a different way, disrespectful, you know, we've always have learned to stick up for ourselves. And so when I got that opportunity, man, and I knew I was coming out with a thong.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. To be able to wear that new outfit and walk down the back locker room, I ain't gonna say no names. Come on, y'all walk with me now. We walking down the back locker room, and you can just, you know, I knew they was talking about me, because my ass got hot.
They were jealous.
You know, and I was like, okay. So they seen this, and this is part of those that, you know, they ain't got nothing else good to say but talk shit about you. Can't talk to you in the face. They'll wait till you bypass them. All right? I'm used to that, man. That didn't rock me for a second. But I knew in the back of my head who was these people. Have you know it? When I got out in that ring and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see how these fans gonna take Big Keish being out there with a thong. I'm the only man in professional wrestling first has ever walked out there wrestled in a thong like that.
We don't count Billy Gunn because he wore them underneath, yeah.
All this time I was looking for my money maker, it was right behind me.
Well said.
This how I shut them all up. Every time I got in the match with somebody, I always knew that Vince McMahon wanted that money shot.
Good shit.
Well, that was my money shot. The money shot was me guaranteeing if I'm wrestling you, female or guy, manager or valet, you all gonna fall to the stink face.
Oh, I got a couple questions
here's
about
the
that.
point. If I liked you, yeah, I had thongs. I got so many thongs. I always carry brand new thongs with me.
You beat me to it.
If I didn't like you, you got that mediocre, you know that Ziploc bag? Now, if I just know you were just a horrible human being to me, you in that Walmart bag that never comes out to be aired. So when you got that stink face, you already knew without even me telling you. And so at the end of the day was, by the time I got through, making that move somewhat of a worldwide move for everyone, to be able to laugh at and to cheer, and it really kind of checked these people. Their attitude changed. When nobody talking shit no more. It's like it's funny. You gotta earn, that's their way of, I guess, respect, and rather than come talk to you face to face, but you're that type of person that wait to talk as I go through. And so, the moral of my story is this: bullying for anybody, we ain't got time for that. You don't know what that person dealing with. Probably lost his mother, lost his father, lost his best friend, and then here come your ass, just for no reason, just to throw out something like that. So, at the end of the day, you guys there that, if in case you're moving that way, go ahead and just clear yourself out of that negative vibe. I say cancel them. You don't need people in your circle like that, delete them. You do better off without them, and you're gonna find out that hell, if you just stink face their asses too, things can change. Yeah. All right?
Comparatively speaking, they're nothing but garbage. The question on everyone's mind now is, who got the dirty thong? Can you name names? I'm thinking Sean.
Well, Vince McMahon didn't get the dirty thong, because otherwise I wouldn't have been there the next TV, right? I probably had to say, well, the mediocre thong, but it wasn't mediocre. It was the new thong, but I just happened to go to Taco Bell's before I got there. By raising your hand, how many of y'all know Booker T? So my only stink face I gave to Booker T, and I apologized to him when I came back, is just I had some beans and rice. And I was hungry, I had me some burritos and stuff, and I come through and they said, I'm working against Booker T. Booker's one of my best friends in the business. And I told Booker, I said, listen, man, I ate some beans, just in case you hear some gas or whatever, don't worry about it, we good. Yeah, we good. You better not. Dude, I'm telling you. So as we go down there, of course, live on TV, of course my stomach got to act up during that time. And when we gave time for the money shot, well, it was almost, I want to say air came out and a little bit more air. And this is the way Booker just rolled. I said, you didn't hear it say it on TV, but he said, F this, I'm out. And he woke up and I looked at it, I just laughed. I said, I told you, man, I'm blah, blah, blah. So, and anyhow, so that's where he, the first time anybody threw up from the stink face. So the moral, it wasn't, he sold it as if it was the dirty thong. But in reality, he had the clean thong in.
Tell me you did not just fart in my face.
No, man.
Our last question from the audience comes from Steve from Victoria, Texas. You might know this guy,
I'd like to know from this honorable man, how did it feel to run me over, and how did it feel to be part of that storyline, and how did it come about? How much control did you have in that storyline?
Give or take. First of all, I'm sorry, Steve, for running you over, but
Hey, he did it for The Rock.
it was Hunter's fault. You know, yeah, I need to make a T-shirt that did it for The Rock. That's all. Well, yeah, but that was one of the, one of my favorite times being a pro wrestler was during the Attitude Era and that Rikishi run. I feel that was probably one of the best angles.
Yep.
Because we had everybody on a limb, couldn't figure it out, and it was a big discussion because I was on the verge of, this was my highest point in the career of being Rikishi. It was this big blonde-haired guy that 450 pounds that people just love. And then when I, finally made that turn, it was like I stabbed a lot of people in the hearts and so forth, So it was tough for me personally because I really wanted to enjoy that ride of, being a baby face. For me, it was that time for me to understand what it means to be a main event player. And as we're looking, when it came about from the company, there wasn't too many bad guys on the opposite side, but we were stacked with good guys on the babyface side. And, at the end of the day, you got to do what's business, and do the right thing for, makes you think about birds in the nest. And so I'm looking at this where I said, well, if I don't jump this way, I'll never be able to work against these guys here, which, these were the top guys of the business. Taker and the whole crew, Right, Hell in the Cell. And so I agreed to move to the heel side and team up with Hunter and the whole crew with Kurt Angle. It was the best time of my life, to be able to work against those guys.
And I'm 40 years old, and anyone you talk to my age watched wrestling. They all know the Attitude Era. Would you hit the Macho Man, though, for The Rock? Would you hit the Macho Man for The Rock? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, I probably
Okay, family first.
I do. I'm a big fan of Macho Man. Who
Me
is
too, yeah, I'm the biggest.
These are our guys who we looked up to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back when we were kids, man, looked up to guys like, you hated Iron Sheik. You just hated this dude. He just walked out there and, you'll say, ha, boom. I was like, damn, he getting paid for that? And you got Andre the Giant just chopping people. Kamala slapping his belly. That's the missing art that I feel what's missing today. Every wrestler out there, independent, and those that are there, be realistic, right? They all kind of look the same. They got that, everybody got good bodies. You know what I mean? Okay, it looks good, but we in the entertainment business. When I walk through that airport, I want you to recognize and know who this guy is, right? Versus we all together walking, they don't know, like, okay, I'm a wrestler. Well, who are you? Right? So something to give to you independent kids or that are out there, don't be afraid to, this is who you are. This is your livelihood, right? If you wear what you wear, that's who you are. Going through airports and stuff, because nowadays you got the most powerful thing, you guys, that we never had. Everybody shoots their gram. Everybody shoots the TikTok. So why not shoot your own and brand your own damn self?
That's the way to be.
Right? Invest in you.
Bet on yourself.
That's exactly.
My last question. You guys killed it with the dancing, man. I kind of feel like you revitalized you guys in the Attitude Era with Too Cool.
Yeah.
Who came up with the dance?
Okay, again, I come from dancing, right?
That's what I was thinking.
It's that old school electric slide. Two to the left, two to the right. As if we kind of add a little bit, going back. But, Scotty didn't know how to dance.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't know how to dance, but as we were all going, I was like, we need to come up with something. Because you got this blonde, bleach blonde Samoan dude, and you got these two white boys that they act like they're from hip hop, but they ain't got a hip hop in their body. And so I said, well, you need to do something, like come up with a move. And so he came with that, the worm, there it was. Then Grandmaster Sexy, you know, rest in peace, he came up what he called a Michael Jackson when doing that. I was telling him, man, okay. He said, what do you think? I said, if that's the best y'all got, go on and bring that, and I'll go ahead and pick up the rest. And so that's what it was. I said, you gotta learn the electric slide. 2 to the left, 2 to the back, 2 this way, and then we just all break out. And so when we did that on the first, back in the day, Sunday Night Heat, they used to film Sunday Night Heat, and then you would go to live Monday Night Raw. Well, they would put us out there before the Monday Night Raw. And as we got out there, every time we got out there, you can hear the fan base. We were just building our fan base, and once we broke out with the dance, before you know it, we was on Monday Night Raw every weekend. So, yeah, so we kind of stumbled into the dance.
And now Scotty's killing it at every wedding he goes to, electric slide.
Yeah, he still looks great, man.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I don't know how he's still wrestling, man.
Fountain of Youth. Well,
Okay.
from me, from everybody, thank you,
Thank you.
Rikishi.
You're
It's
welcome,
been a
man.
pleasure, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Is that all you got? Come on, let's hear it. Hall of Famer, baby.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.